everybody! I have a very traditional recipe for you today. We are gonna make stuffed peppers, cabbage and onion. So if you're new, I would suggest starting with the peppers and making an only pepper recipe because onions and cabbage is like a lot of hit and miss with people. Yeah, so let's go. This is how I make them. So first you're gonna wash your pepper, of course. And then you're gonna cut the lid off. Do not discard the lid because we are gonna use it as a lid. So think of your peppers as a pot. We're gonna fill them in and we're gonna close the lid off. So I'm taking all the guts in the pepper, taking them out as you can see, cleaning everything. And then I'm gonna get a peeler. I love this one. It's from KitchenAid. So you see the big veins in the peppers, so gently just remove that big veins. They don't taste as good and I feel like they give like a sour taste to the meat, so I'm gently cleaning them out. If you make like a hole in your pepper, not a big deal. Yep, just cutting out the peppers. Everything I'm cutting is going into a drainers to be washed. So I'm just repeating the process here, just cutting the lid and cutting them out and cleaning the inside and getting rid of the big veins. Alright, now that I am done with my peppers, I'm gonna move on to my onion. So how you're gonna do it is you're gonna cut the two ends of the onion, cut them straight so the onion stands up on its own. Also you wanna take out the outer layer of the onion. You need to pull it out. Alright, now that I cleaned out my onion, I'm gonna scoop the insides out onto a separate plate. Do not discard them. We are gonna make a separate dish with the stuffing and the onions and the cabbage we get out of it. This actually stuffing freezes very well on the freezer, so what I do is I make two dishes, and the bonus one, once it's cooled down, I pop it in the freezer, so it's dinner for next week. I serve it with rice. It's delicious too. So yeah, do not discard the insides of the onion if you decide to do onions too. And let's get scooping. As you can see, I'm making a hole in the onion. And now it's time for my cabbage. I'm gonna peel the outside leaves of the cabbage. These are gonna go into my compost box. So I'm going to cut a lid for my cabbage, but the important thing is to make sure that to find an angle to cut where the cabbage stands up on its own. So you don't want it tipping over in your pot. So I cut it at an angle. Like this is how naturally this cabbage stands on its own. So that's how I cut the lid, so that it doesn't drip over and get the stuffings come out of it while it's cooking. And I'm gonna start to scoop out the insides of the cabbage though. That is not going to the compost bin. It's actually going to a separate plate with the onions, because I'm gonna add them to my bonus dish that I make with stuffing. Now that I'm done scooping out the insides of my vegetables, I am in the process of washing them. I'm gonna wash the insides of them, making sure that there's not like little particles left, and make sure that they're all nice and clean. Alright, my lovely internet family, now that we scooped out and cleaned our vegetables, now it's time for the salting. So this process is very important, please do not skip it. What you need is some salt. It could be sea salt, pink Himalayan. I'm using pink Himalayan. I'm going to rub the insides of my vegetables with salt. Alright, internet family, now we have cleaned and salted all our vegetables. Now it's time for our lovely stuffing. Here we go. Alright, my lovelies, so what I have done here is I got a big pot and I placed my vegetables inside the pot in an upright position. So as you can see, they are sitting up like little pots on their own, and I'm gonna fill the stuffing. To make the stuffing, I'm using one big red onion. You can use any type of onion you like. I'm using half a pound of ground meat. This is actually too much meat for this much vegetable, but I'm gonna make the bonus dish. If you're not gonna make the bonus dish, use half of the meat. And I'm using 1 cup of canola oil. So this is very important. Do not use olive oil. I repeat, do not use olive oil. It will not taste good. That's a whole different recipe. So use canola oil, vegetable oil. You can use corn oil, but not olive oil. So I add the canola oil, and I'm gonna add 1 cup of white rice. And again, you need to use white rice. Alright, so now I'm gonna add the Spice Island organic Italian seasoning that I got from Costco. You can add fresh parsley too, any kind of fresh herbs you like. I like to add this one. Alright, so I'm gonna do a little roundup about the ingredients. So I have ground beef, I have canola oil, I have white rice, I have Italian seasoning, and I have 1 onion. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna boil some water. I'm gonna make the tomato sauce that's gonna go into the pan, not into the stuffing, but into the pan. So I have 1 tablespoon of tomato paste here. This tomato paste is from Turkey. It's homemade, it's organic, and it's sun-dried. So the consistency of it is a lot harder than the store-bought ones. So I want the hot water to dissolve it while I'm working on my stuffing. Alrighty, now that my stuffing is mixed, I'm gonna stuff my vegetables. I'm gonna fill 2/3 of them. That's the most important trick here, not to overfill your vegetables. Alright, now that I have filled all my vegetables with stuffing, I'm gonna close the lids on them. You can see that's the extra meat that is left, almost a half of it, that I'm gonna use to make the bonus dish with the onions and the cabbage that I put aside earlier. And now I'm gonna add the tomato paste to my pan. So I'm gonna add the tomato paste sauce that I made into my pan. Alright, now that we are done, we are gonna close the lid and we are gonna cook it in medium heat. The cooking time varies, I would say check on them. Cook as long as it takes for the stuffing to be fully cooked. Also, I'm gonna give you a little pro tip. Once it's cooked, if you wanna make it extra tasty, melt some butter, add some minced garlic to it and some red crushed pepper and put it into the pan. It makes it taste great. This is how it looks at the end, and it's traditionally served with yogurt, and this is how the stuffing should look when it's all cooked. So enjoy. Yeah, and this is how the cabbage looks. So thank you for watching, and if you like my videos, please subscribe and like. It really helps my channel. Thank you so much. Bye.